you doing?
Happy birthday, nephew.
That's simple. A lot of like to spend their money. We love to spend our money. We can't take none of this. None. Ain't no armored trucks pulling up at no funerals. Simple. So you better enjoy this. A fool and his money will part. We do this. So
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
Lil Meech just shook the whole hip-hop scene to its core. He's accusing Rick Ross of scamming Big Meech out of a jaw-dropping $120 million, and the story spreading like wildfire. What started as whispers on social media has now turned into a full-on war, BMF versus Rick Ross, and nobody's backing down.
It would lead to February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This gonna be special. Epic. Get your tickets right now.
I'm back.
A quick Google search for you says that your net worth is $20 million.
I know I got more money than that. I might go 70 days without looking at my exact total amount of my money because it give me anxiety keep looking at numbers all day. It's like when you put money in stocks, the stock trader told me, say, put a lot of money in stock, don't keep looking at that. It'll drive you crazy.
The streets are buzzing, timelines are flooded, and fans are split right down the middle. Everybody's asking the same question. Did Rick Ross really hustle one of the most respected names in street history for clout and cash?
Right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still count paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Think about it. It was all part of the plan. 50 Cent and Rick Ross, they set up Big Meech. Freeway Ricky, Rick Ross, and now you got 50 Cent, he owning the rights to BMF.
From the start, this looked like the perfect comeback story. Big Meech got out of prison last October and the culture was ready to celebrate. People thought the legend was about to rebuild his empire the right way, through films, business, and generational power moves.
Take a picture with Rick Ross. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
Then Ross stepped in, talking big numbers, dropping that $120 million film deal pitch, promising to turn Meech's story into a Hollywood legacy. It sounded like a dream come true. Movie contracts, luxury brand collabs, and a global franchise tied to BMF. But behind all that talk, the streets say there was nothing but smoke and mirrors. No movie, no deal, no paper, just hype.
Ross taking at you a couple weeks ago about a girl that you're not even with no more.
We wearing Travis Scott's all week.
What is it with you and Ross that's just been going on for so long?
Nothing else works for him outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me. It gets covered further. I get covered across the board. They get covered on the hip hop blogs. It is what it is. And you watch because I have nothing else to say. You just see it happen periodically as it goes. You know, you see that big white elephant, that property he lives at? It costs more than the nightclubs. He's in the nightclubs. What kind of rich cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass? You trying to save money, nigga? You don't want to pay for the lawn to get cut, huh?
Ain't nothing wrong with cutting your grass.
Insiders claim Ross played it smart. Smooth talk, flashy connections, and sweet promises that never landed. Big Meech believed it was loyalty, but others saw it as manipulation. Ross walked away richer and more famous, while BMF's name got dragged into more confusion. One street insider even said people felt bad for Lil Meech, but blamed the older heads. They should have known better. This wasn't friendship, this was business. And in business, loyalty can't save you from getting finessed.
Biggest boss Ricky Rose just got word. Meech concert not happening tonight, but 305 is going down at the office. Meet us there. Bam!
Meanwhile, 50 Cent, the man who built the real BMF legacy through his hit show, wasn't staying quiet. From day one, 50 funded the series, paid for Lil Meech's acting lessons, and gave him a platform that turned him from a street kid into a star.
When that song came out, that's probably like the hottest I ever seen a rapper. People was confronting Ross everywhere, 100 deep, with Larry Hoover Jr. 100 deep to confront Ross about saying the old man name in the song. Even some of the BMF guys for saying he think he Big Meech. When it come to Meech, Meech had guys getting BMF tats on their face in the pen.
He treated that BMF story with respect, turning it into a TV phenomenon. But then Lil Meech shocked everyone by rolling with Ross instead of the man who helped him rise. That move started a quiet war behind the scenes, and eventually the gloves came off.
I'm Big Meech, entrepreneur here at 5 Star Smiles to make sure that my smile is right forever. First off, image is everything to me, you know, so the first thing people notice is the smile. So knowing that I was going to be doing probably interviews and stuff like that and be in the limelight, I wanted to make sure that was the first thing I had did. And that's the thing, like a lot of people in the prison, they neglect our
50 started clowning Ross on social media, doing what he does best, trolling with precision. He joked about Ross sending Wingstop wings to Big Meech's prison address, but beneath the jokes was a serious message. Ross wasn't adding to the legacy, he was leeching off it. Then 50 got personal. He started revealing things fans didn't know, that Lil Meech had been showing up to set intoxicated, throwing up during training, and losing focus. He even joked about finding whippets in Meech's truck, laughing that he had to Google what they were.
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino. It's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big. I can feel it. I'm just talking.
But the point was clear. 50 wanted the world to see that he was the only one acting like a grown man while everyone else was playing games with the BMF name.
Take a picture with Rick Ross. You like a hoe, nigga. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
As all this was happening, Lil Meech kept smiling for the cameras with Ross, clubbing, posing, and pretending everything was good. But the streets weren't buying it anymore. People started calling the partnership fake, built on ego and empty promises.
February 13th, the Big Meech benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. It's gonna be special.
Epic.
Get your tickets right now.
I'm back.
It didn't take long before fans turned their backs. Even Tony Yayo stepped in, reminding everyone that 50 had been there for Lil Meech since day one. No gimmicks, no fake loyalty, just solid support.
You took a picture with Rick Ross. Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
But now that Lil Meech chose sides, the pressure started to show. Money slowed down, fame faded, and frustration took over. And that's when Michael Rainey Jr., known as Tariq from Power, jumped in with a viral comment that shook the internet. He said he didn't feel bad for Lil Meech or Big Meech because grown men should have seen this coming. The clip spread everywhere and the internet exploded. Ross tried to ride the hype, promoting shows and shouting dates like it was business as usual. February 13th, get your tickets. Miami, Detroit, ATL.
You took a picture with Rick Ross? Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
But once 50 saw that, he went off again, doubling down behind Michael Rainey Jr.'s comments, saying this was proof of weak loyalty and bad judgment. The message was loud and clear. Lil Meech had chosen clout over loyalty, and Ross was once again feeding off another man's name. It wasn't even the first time Ross had done this. People close to him said he's got a track record of leaving his own people hanging.
Yes, Charleston White is correct. I'm a rapper, not a dealer. Be sure to catch my new show, 50 Cent, 50 Ways to Catch a Killer.
Even letting his own crew get jumped in Canada while he tested their loyalty. Cold, calculated, and classic Ross.
Trying to decide how we gonna roll at this Meech concert tonight. 2 Lambs, 4 Raris, 5 double R's, something like that.
Then, like clockwork, Ross tried to flip the story again, announcing a big-budget BMF movie that he said would top 50's TV version. He even dropped names like F. Gary Gray and Tarantino, but come on, that sounded like pure cap.
I'm seeing a lot of about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross.
It was just Ross doing what he does best, talking loud, staying viral, and keeping the spotlight on himself. That's when the narrative flipped, and the hip-hop world started to see through Rick Ross's game. Whack 100 jumped into the mix, calling Ross the real villain in this story. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. He said Ross was never loyal to Big Meech, just a manipulator using the BMF name to take cheap shots at 50 Cent. Whack made it clear, if Ross had real respect for Meech, he'd have handled business quietly without all the flexing and cameras, but instead Ross turned it into a circus.
A quick Google search for you says that your net worth is $20 million.
I know I got more money than that. I might go 70 days without looking at my exact total amount of my money because it give me anxiety keep looking at numbers all day. It's like when you put money in stocks, the stock trader told me, say, put a lot of money in stock, don't keep looking at that. It's gonna drive you crazy.
A one-man show full of fake loyalty and louder-than-life clout chasing. Every interview, every post, every announcement was centered on him, not the BMF legacy. It became obvious that Ross had one mission: keep the spotlight on himself. He paraded Big Meech's name around like a trophy, using the connection to boost his image. And honestly, that said it all.
Think about it. It was all part of the plan. 50 Cent and Rick Ross, they set up Big Meech. Freeway Ricky, Rick Ross, and now you got 50 Cent, he owning the rights to BMF.
Ross wasn't moving for the culture, he was moving for attention. From day one, he'd been playing both sides, hyping Meech up with big talk about million-dollar projects and empires, while the only empire that was really growing was his own brand. Behind closed doors, he even drove a wedge between Big Meech and 50 Cent, the man who built the entire BMF TV empire and gave the name new life. When the dust settled, all that was left were broken promises and headlines that didn't mean a thing.
This is the gentleman's side of Meech, right? Yep. The plane lands Friday night. It's like 12 midnight. Alex calls me. He's like, yo, Chris, Meech needs the biggest suite in Cancun. I'm like, I ain't no travel agent. He's like, no. When I landed, they told me that you got the presidential suite at the Coral Beach. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I love Meech, but I'm not giving him my room. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not giving him my room. He's like, he'll give you $60,000 right now. I was paying $3,000 a night. He had that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But here's the gentleman's side of Meech. I switched to another suite. I get a phone call. I'm like, yo, what's up? Who's this? He's like, yo, is this Chris Latimer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, we up in the presidential suite. I got some messages from you. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Tell me what they are. And I'm like, yo, brother, man, thanks a lot, man. Yo, tell Meech, good looking out, man. He's like, Chris, it is Meech.
That's important because a lot of people don't understand. To get to the top, you have to pay attention to every small detail. Okay. And knowing me calling him hear my voice, he knows the kind of man that I am.
Ross went online bragging about buying people's masters, even mocking 50 Cent by name, saying he could buy his catalog anytime he wanted. Then he threw shade at Lil Meech too, claiming 50 had to take him out of Detroit just to teach him how to act. It was a slick way of trying to humiliate both of them, but in reality, it just showed Ross's obsession with being the loudest guy in the room. When the attention started to fade, he disappeared from Meech's circle completely, ghosted him when things got tough, and that's when the rumors started flying. Insiders began whispering that Ross was the reason Lil Meech's Welcome Home benefit concert got canceled, a show fans thought 50 had ruined, but people close to the situation said otherwise. That Ross didn't want Meech to get his momentum back. He wanted him sidelined, out of the spotlight, so he could keep acting like the one carrying the legacy online. To the streets, that was pure betrayal, using another man's struggle as marketing material. Ross traded Meech's name for views and clicks, and when it stopped serving him, he cut ties. Lil Meech tried to fight back online, calling 50 Cent an internet gangster, saying he was hiding behind social media for attention. But nobody bought it. Fans saw right through it. They said he was just trying to do damage control, cleaning up the mess Ross left behind. By that point, memes and jokes were everywhere. The internet was clowning the whole situation, painting Lil Meech as a young dude who got played in his own story. It was painful to watch, but it showed how fast the industry can turn when loyalty and money mix. Ross's track record made the picture crystal clear. Every time he links up with someone who's already respected, something messy follows. Whether it's deals gone bad, loyalty fading, or people getting left behind, it's a cycle. Look at Maybach Music Group, Meek Mill, Waylay, Gunplay. All those names once stood proudly under Ross's wing, but behind the success, there were missing checks, shady paperwork, and endless frustration. The stories kept stacking. Ross acting supportive in public while pulling the strings in private. It was ego over teamwork, control over collaboration. Over the years, that pattern became impossible to ignore. Ross knew exactly how to move the chessboard, boosting himself at the expense of others. If he really cared about BMF, he would have built with Big Meech quietly, honoring that legacy with respect. But instead, he went public knowing 50 Cent would react, because this wasn't just business, it was pride and power. 50 was protecting something real, a brand he built from the ground up, and Ross was poking the bear just to get attention. Even Meek Mill, once considered Ross's right-hand man, eventually distanced himself after realizing MMG wasn't designed for everyone to win. The spotlight was only big enough for one, Rick Ross. And now, that same playbook's being used on Big Meech and Lil Meech. The $120 million empire that was supposed to change their lives turned out to be a ghost deal, nothing real behind it. Meanwhile, Ross walked away with another round of free publicity, interviews, and followers. People started connecting the dots. Every time Ross's fame dips, he finds someone with credibility to latch on to. He did it with Drake during the MMG days, then with Meek, then with Larry Hoover's Name, and now with Big Meech. But while Ross keeps chasing headlines, 50 Cent flipped the whole system. 50 turned real stories into billion-dollar productions. Power, Raising Canaan, BMF. He turned pain into profit, legacy into storytelling, and business into empires. That's the difference. One man builds, the other borrows, and the streets are taking note. Fans started saying it straight. Ross is playing checkers, 50 is playing chess. One's thinking ahead, making real moves, the other's thinking short-term, chasing viral moments. Behind all the noise, the truth is becoming too clear to hide. Every time Rick Ross steps into someone else's world, that world ends up broken, confused, and left behind while he walks away smiling for the cameras. At this point, the game is crystal clear. Rick Ross's playbook never changes. He builds off other people's names, flipping their struggles into his own shine. The question is, how many more folks will fall for it before they realize what's really going on? Every time someone stands next to Ross, they eventually learn that loyalty doesn't last. Only clout does. The pattern's undeniable, and when you look back at his career, it's almost like he's been rehearsing the same move since day one. Think about it. Ross didn't just start this habit with Big Meech. It goes all the way back to the real Rick Ross, the actual drug kingpin whose name the rapper took while the man was locked up. He built his entire rap identity off another man's story. The real Rick Ross even took him to court, trying to reclaim his name, but Ross didn't care. He doubled down, profiting off that myth until the brand became bigger than the truth. He took another man's reality and turned it into a multi-million-dollar rap persona, and he's been doing the same thing ever since. Then he did it again with Larry Hoover, name-dropping the Chicago legend in songs, visuals, and interviews like it was a trend. He used those names, men who built power from the streets, to boost his own fame. And now it's the same story with Big Meech, another legacy borrowed, twisted, and remixed into his brand. The difference is, this time the streets are watching closer than ever. They see how Ross turned real pain into content, real loyalty into headlines, and real legacies into marketing campaigns. And while he keeps winning the attention game, the people he links with always end up losing something valuable: respect, reputation, or peace. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's name keeps growing stronger. While Ross plays the loud game, 50 plays the long one, stacking projects, flipping stories, and creating real value. He's not chasing validation, he's building empires. 50 warned everyone about Ross years ago, calling him a fraud, and now everything he said is playing out in real time. Fans have receipts, screenshots, and interviews proving Ross moves for attention, not authenticity. One viral comment said it best: "Rick Ross is a fraud, period. He messed up a whole legacy chasing clout." That line hit hard because that's exactly what happened. When you line it all up, the pattern speaks for itself. Rick Ross builds his shine off the energy of people who already have real credibility. He steps in, makes big promises, and when it all falls apart, he disappears. From his MMG family to his street connections, the outcome never changes. Even the way he hyped up the BMF movie, dropping big Hollywood names like Tarantino and Antoine Fuqua, was nothing but a smoke show. There's no movie, no script, no $120 million deal. Just more headlines that keep him trending while everyone else cleans up the mess. And now that Lil Meech is catching the backlash, people are wondering if his loyalty blinded him. Did he trust the wrong person, or was he just caught up in a bigger hustle he didn't see coming? Either way, it's a hard lesson, because in this industry, image is everything, and Ross knows how to play that game too well. When things get quiet, he finds a new name to attach to, a new spark to keep himself relevant. But every time the pattern repeats, chaos follows, relationships break, and the only winner left standing is Rick Ross. Even those once close to him have started to distance themselves. Former associates talk about being left behind, artists speak on shady contracts, and business partners describe him as all talk, no delivery. To them, Ross's empire isn't built on trust, it's built on illusion. Every move is calculated for exposure, not loyalty. Every headline is designed to look powerful, even if it's built on someone else's foundation. So now the streets are asking you, was Ross ever loyal to Big Meech, or was he just trying to become Big Meech in the eyes of the culture? Because when you look at it closely, it makes sense. The BMF track that made Ross famous wasn't about honoring a friend. It was about embodying that image, taking on that identity, and soaking up the respect that came with it. That's how Ross's entire brand was built, off other people's legacies, other people's stories, and other people's pain. The sad truth is, Big Meech's name deserved better. His legacy was supposed to symbolize redemption and rebirth, not controversy and confusion. But once Ross stepped in, the message got twisted and the focus shifted from rebuilding a legacy to chasing online attention. Now that everything's unraveling, even fans are realizing how deep this goes. They're calling it what it is: manipulation, ego, and clout addiction. So what's next for BMF? Can Lil Meech rebuild the trust he lost? Can Big Meech take back control of his name and rewrite the story the right way? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure: 50 Cent's words keep echoing louder. Real ones build, fake ones borrow. And right now, the streets know exactly who's who. If you're tuned into the drama, drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's really winning this war, and who's just playing the game? Make sure you subscribe, share, like, and comment for more stories that dig into the truth behind the culture. This saga ain't over yet, not by a long shot.